from mental to anything else, is about you making money to put on a designer suit, to buy shoes of 300,000. You can see how stupid Kenyans can get. Even with God help us, I don't know these things we are calling medicine, whether we really take medicine or just choke. We are on our own. You cannot be planting trees in Thika here and pineapples in town, and Kenyans are living in Kiandutu. Kiandutu means a place of jiggers in the 21st century, 60 years after independence, and somebody is lying to you. Those are simply lies.
And you're just in time for Business Glide, the only point of call on matters, public policy analysis, business and economics at large. Hosted by yours truly, son of the soil, resident economist Richard Mwenja. And today we are truly delighted and humbled to usher back none other than the biggest name in Eastern and Central Africa on matters, political analysis and also economic commentary, the son of the soil and Vegas' biggest export, Mr. Herman Manyora, professor actually. How are you, sir?
Fine.
Finally back on the show.
I'm back on the show.
3 years later, Business Glide has grown to be the biggest economic show on YouTube. What does that make you feel?
Wonderful.
Wonderful?
Great.
Have I made you proud?
Oh, wonderful.
Can I now come so that you bid your blessings on me?
Of course, of course, of course.
I should come.
Please.
Very well. And looking good as usual, your floral shirt, trademark shirt.
Thank you.
Did you get another pair? Did you? It's been a while.
Yes, Richard.
That of the way. Today's conversation is about President Ruto's commitment to take Kenya to the next level of prosperity. And one of the open tabs he wants to tap into is through taxation. And he believes that is also an opportunity to bring us closer to be the Singapore of Africa. But let me ask you, if you look at our tax regime as a country this far, and now that the Finance Bill of 2024 is around the corner and we are seeing more tax are likely to sneak in, does that sort of reassure you that going that way, we are that close to being the Singapore of Africa?
It has been said repeatedly.
Sure.
That you cannot tax people to prosperity. No. It's not worked anyway.
It's not sustainable?
No. Even the government itself, or sections of government, I've seen Rigathi Gachagua feeling the pinch in his own backyard and saying, no, this thing, we need to look at it afresh. That is the number 2 man in the country. Rigathi Gachagua is the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, a key player in the government. He has seen how taxation is biting his own people. He has seen how some crazy measures can destroy even farming, can kill the spirit of farmers, can kill small businessmen, because Rigathi Gachagua comes from an area that feels the pinch anytime the economy is not doing well. The rest may feel later. You know, if something happens to your body, physical injury, there are parts that register the pain first. Okay, the brain gets first, and then, so Rigathi Gachagua's people are the ones who feel the pinch. And you can see this avocado nonsense of taxing small farmers. That's where it was first fed, and he has now come out to say there may be need to relook at the whole game altogether. So taxes must be reasonable in many ways. Yeah, so you cannot say because we are now taxing people. As I talk to you now, just now, less than 10 minutes ago, actually much less than 10 minutes, a certain lady has called me. She's the City Square post office. As I talk to you now, she's going to receive a parcel. She's been going to her Embakasi place. She couldn't get it. Then she was told, you can go to City Square, because it takes time for them to check because of drugs and because of taxation. She has gone, an envelope, pahasha ya kawaida. There are sachets of chai, special tea. You know, all these herbal things.
Sure.
But if you take these, your blood pressure may go down. Lakini tu ni tea bag, which can make maybe 5-6 cups of tea. And I'm telling you that because there are about 3 or 4. She's being asked to pay 4,000 shillings.
4,000?
This is happening as I'm talking to you now.
It is that bad?
Yes. And let me tell you, many people have abandoned those things. Many people abandon things at the airport, abandon the things at these points where people are being asked to pay. If somebody brings you a small present, inconsequential, like that scarf of yours, and then somebody asks you to pay 10,000 or say even 2,000, will you pay? See, we're back now, and this is going on, so they need to look afresh at the whole issue of taxation.
Very well, and advancing that conversation, at a time when this government regime has said it inherited dilapidated coffers, empty coffers therein, it begs the question, so what other alternative could they tap into to replenish these coffers that they said they did find empty, if not through more taxation in the finance bill of 2024?
First of all, that issue of empty coffers is laughable. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. First of all, government does not collect money and keep it somewhere. No government ever does that, except for the Chinese model of saving. But otherwise, countries like ours, they collect tax and use on a daily basis. So what money were they expecting to find? When you collect, even now, if I ask them, stop, let's go to the treasury, how much do you have? Nothing. That's why they are delaying paying counties. That's why they have not paid CDF as I talk to you. And the financial year is coming to an end. They haven't released CDF money. That's why governors are complaining. That's why capitation elsewhere is not working. That's why they don't pay schools, you know, the free education money. Because government collects money and uses it. Sometimes there are issues with the collection. There are issues of priority spending. There are issues of overspending in some areas, affecting other areas. You get it. So the question of empty coffers is a laughable one.
It is a laughable one.
Yeah, it doesn't work. And then if you have empty coffers, what has government done so far? There are so many things government has done that are not indicative of a broke government. How much money is being spent in State House? How many travels does the president engage in? You get it?
Sure.
How wasteful are the ministers running all over the place? You see figures from this, is it control of budget or auditor general, and you just want to cry. You feel for this country. How much money is being spent on travel? That cannot be coming from people who found a broke economy, a broke country. No, it's not so. The reality is different from what they are telling us.
Very well. Former Cabinet Minister Mutahi Kagwe and Munya, former Agriculture Minister, have actually called the government to go slow on the taxation and actually relook its taxation structures. But they have been called out saying they are trying to politicize the subject because they are the creators of this economic problem. From where you sit, do you find that maybe Mutahi Kagwe and Munya have the moral authority to call out the government on matters taxation?
Peter Munya is a citizen. So is Mutahi Kagwe. They are just like Manyora. They are free to comment on anything. They are not making any official statement. Mutahi Kagwe is not a minister of this country, of this government.
But they have been labeled as the creators of the problem.
No. They're just citizens of this country, and they are free to say what they want to say. Government, on the other hand, has a responsibility to listen to what citizens are saying, whether that citizen be Peter Munya, Manyora, Richard, or Mutahi Kagwe. Governments are supposed to listen. And there is no connection between the current way of taxation and the so-called broken economy, the Ruto government. No, there is no connection. There can be no connection between, assuming Munya and Mutahi Kagwe are a part of the people. I hear some people are calling some of them dollar billionaires. I don't know whether it is true. Assuming they are responsible for the broken economy, you cannot say because you have a broken economy, then you must overtax Kenyans, because then overtaxing does not fix broken economy. If anything, it makes the economy more broken. If it was broken, it will even be more broken. I don't know whether you get what I'm saying.
I get it.
Yeah. So let's not give excuses for the wrong approach to taxation. The approach to taxation in this country is wrong. And you cannot justify it. And there's no point in giving excuses.
Very well, right?
Because I've told you,
sure,
even the number 2 man in the country is feeling the pinch in his own backyard.
The second in command.
Yeah, because it is simply not right. It's simply not working.
The chickens are coming home.
You've seen small things, micro examples of coaches, SGR. The train is empty.
The wagons are empty.
Yeah, because you have increased fares. Then somebody say, okay, if I'm going to pay 4,500 first class to Nairobi, and the station is not in Mombasa, I have to take a taxi to, is it Miriti, whatever they are. Yeah. And then when you come to Nairobi, it's not in Nairobi town. It is, of course, Yokimau, another taxi. I've seen the calculation. It's easier to fly to Nairobi. Some people are even saying, but even a bus is more comfortable. So you see, you have to be serious when you are looking at taxation. Yeah. But
part of the strategies by the government to ramp up its revenue collection is through investing more on the labor migration industry. And in that way, we can actually ramp up and scale up our diaspora remittance collection. And one of the conduits the president is trying to tap into is engaging into bilateral agreements with foreign countries to seek jobs for our youth. And this is why we've seen him quoting figures to the tunes of thousands that he has secured jobs for the Kenyan youth, digital jobs, you name it. Do you think the president is worthy the glory on matters unemployment fix?
See, it is not, there's nothing wrong with exporting labor. It has happened and it continues to happen. But not in the manner in which we are doing. Most of what we are doing is to take Kenyans into slave labor. You get what I'm saying? Slave labor. We've seen the treatment Kenyans are receiving in the Arab world, and other places where they go. That's not the way to go. Secondly, and much more importantly, the people who have been sending money to this country are not even happy with what's going on in this country.
They aren't?
So I haven't checked the remittances, but I can tell you, in fact, that girl is the one calling my phone now. That lady, the one I told you, she's being asked to pay 4,000. And in an envelope, bahasha, ya kawaida,
a light
tea bags are there. She's calling it some American name. No, she stayed in America. That is not the way to go. No.
So how do you ramp up diaspora remittance?
That is not the way to go, because if you are messing the economy, like I'm telling you, you are making it difficult for people to do business. You are taxing every little thing people bring from outside. What I'm trying to tell you is not the way to go, because even those now, they are not as enthusiastic, as passionate as they were about investing back in the country.
True.
As part of the money they were bringing is for investment.
Now we are seeing capital flight.
Yeah. You see, if you are in America, you get some little money you send to your mother in Moist Bridge to do something for you. So that $1,000 you send her, she can put in some project. So that $1,000 can become $1,200.
True.
But the moment that $1,000 thing lands on her, the government descends on her on taxation. You will not be as excited as you are in sending. You won't send the money. That's what I'm saying. It's not the way to go.
I'll redirect
because you are not. The people in the diaspora today are not happy about some of these policies and measures the government has put in place. So it's going to affect the remittances. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So it's not the way to go. Even if you say you are taking people to wherever you are taking them, taking them into slavery aside, they will not be very happy to bring money in a country where there's too much taxation. I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying. Very well. And to another front that has been tapped into by President Ruto to sort of tone down the suffering Kenyans are going through, all thanks to the cost of living, is through revitalizing agriculture and making sure farmers at least reap something that is respectable and has some sense of meaning. And one of the ways is through penetration of subsidized fertilizer and also curbing post-harvest loss and such things. This far, if you look at the recent expose about substandard fertilizer making way into a national cereals and produce board and outcry from coffee farmers in Kirinyaga, you name it. Are you confident that maybe we are going to have better fortunes for Kenyans in agriculture?
But on this show of yours, Richard, I told you this fertilizer is a scam. I told you many times. Oh, you have forgotten.
Even with the Linturian board, change of regime? It
is just a scam. It's the Linturi who started it. This was not a Huru thing. This is a Ruto thing. It's a scam. I told you. And you know, there was an expose on NTV too. I think when this
a day or two ago.
No, forget about this one of fake fertilizer. It's not even fake fertilizer. Of just, I think, some soil or something
from Kariandusi.
When the first batch of fertilizers came in, subsidized, you saw there were issues. It was a conduit for people to make money. And I made a very good, and I even elaborated. I told you, I bought fertilizer in Ukambani where I have a quarter an acre. I bought fertilizer in Vihiga where I have half an acre to do my cheap farming that small people like us do. And I calculated for you. I told you the man selling fertilizer in Gambogi and in is it Mitaboni, whatever, in Ukambani where I was buying, is in business. It's not subsidized. She has bought it from a shop, from a dealer. The dealer has bought it from a bigger dealer who bought the fertilizer from Mombasa, where there is packaging and what have you. That person engaged in the packaging in Mombasa has bought it from somebody who has brought it all the way from, is it Belgium or from Morocco, Russia, whatever, Ukraine. By the time it lands, and I'm buying the fertilizer at 4,500 in Gambogi, and this is the last person in the chain, and she's making a profit. Somebody else made a profit in that chain, then another, then the importer made a profit. What does that tell you? And 4,500. And the government is telling you, subsidize 2,500. What does that tell you? That tells you 2,500 cannot be subsidized. You get what I'm saying?
I get it. It can't be subsidized.
That should be the price of fertilizer. If you remove the middlemen, come on, get me what I'm saying. If you remove all those middlemen, about 4 of them, by the time it gets to Gambogi at 4,500, it originates at Mombasa, in Mombasa, maybe at 2,500. Tax paid. Perhaps. So if government just facilitated the flow of fertilizer from Mombasa without duties paid, if they are ever paid for those kind of, because I don't have the details, and you just gave, government cannot talk of subsidy. So that will be the price.
The current subsidized fertilizer structure is a long con from your analysis.
It's a fraud. It's for people to make money.
Very well.
And you know why? Even like edible oil, the same story. If government wants to bring fertilizer from Ukraine or wherever it is,
or Brazil,
and the job has been given to National Cereals and Produce Board, why can't the fertilizer come from the source to the board? Why must the board again give Richard and Manyora to be the middleman to bring?
Distribution and all.
No distribution, bringing. It's a whole con. So,
very well. And now
but it's nothing new. This is how this country works. Everybody is in it for money they get.
But you thought it would be different because the current regime rode on the pedestal that it's gonna turn around the fortunes of the hustlers, those at the bottom strata of the social setup. And this far, do you think President Ruto has taken a paradigm shift from what he held dearly to his heart to turn around the lives and living standards of those people at the bottom of the barrel?
The president made his promises to the basis of abilities, trying to fulfill the promises. From where we sit, we are seeing otherwise. Maybe what the president will need to do is to try to make us understand. Because if he's doing good things for us without us understanding, the beneficiaries, then we would not really appreciate. He would need to tell us. So because any ordinary eye can't see that he's doing what he promised, especially to the hustlers. In fact, on the contrary, the economic situation in the country today that has been occasioned mainly by the policies of this government, the economic situation is dire. It is really, it's putting people under pain. So doing business is difficult. Living is a problem. Making ends meet is a problem. Taking children to school is a problem. Getting health care is a problem. And it's much more so for those hustlers. So that's why I'm saying the president will do well to explain to us, to make us understand what it is we are not seeing. Because there's something we may not be seeing. And I've said this repeatedly, and I'm very genuine and very sincere about it.
The Parliament of the day has the role to do oversight, representation, and also legislation. And it's the easiest way for Kenyans to be represented so that their cry is swiped. Let me ask you this far. Do you think through the Finance Bill of 2024, we have an open opportunity for people to use their parliamentarians so that their cry can be heard and probably responded to?
Which parliament? The same parliament that put Finance Act bill into the Finance Act into law, bill into law, into an act. They are the ones with all the glaring problems, with all the suffering that it was going to bring to people.
But don't you think they have had the Damascus moment now that Rigathi Gachagua is having a U-turn on some elements?
Rigathi Gachagua has not had a U-turn. What Rigathi Gachagua has done, he has come face to face with the reality. And he's thinking there might be need for a relook at all these things. Get it?
Sure.
So that's just that, because the MPs, what have they done to convince you there is a change? The housing levy, the housing law that was declared unconstitutional by the courts. Of course, the court then pointed at a few things. And you know there's a national outcry again. But it has gone to Parliament. The same Parliament has passed it. Second time. So which Parliament are you talking about?
Do you somewhat now consider Kenyans, on matters to do with the rising cost of living, to have been left in the wilderness for the dogs?
Kenyans have always been on their own.
They have?
Yeah.
Even with a God-sent president?
No.
God-chosen?
No, so far no. Kenyans have been on their own. Look, where do you want to go? Even people being sold soil in the name of fertilizer. Can that happen in where there is a caring government? Almost all the fruits we eat in Nairobi are ripened using chemicals. Where is government? Ships are docking in Mombasa with food not fit for human consumption.
Even with
God help us. I don't know these things we are calling medicine, whether we really take medicine or just choke. We are on our own.
With government agencies responsible for compliance checks?
We are on our own. We are on our own. We are on our own. If you did a spot check in chemist, I'm sure, I'm not talking from an authoritative point of view. I'm just saying, going by what I'm seeing, I'll be shocked if most of these drugs we take are not shock, placebos, whatever they are called. If you went to the supermarket, I think again NTV, somebody walked around looking at meat in butcheries. It was terrible.
Red alert.
It's been injected with chemicals to make it look more meaty, more, fresh, and last. The chicken we are consuming, injected with antibiotics. This can't come from a country where there's a caring government. We are on our own.
Tier 1 nations actually take pride in looking at the affairs of their most vulnerable in the society. In that particular case, what will you rate Kenya's score on a scale of 0 to 10, looking at its most vulnerable and responding to their needs?
There's 0. Nobody cares about the poor in this country. Nobody has ever cared. Not Jomo Kenyatta, not Moi.
At least Kibaki maybe?
Not Kibaki, not Uhuru, not Ruto, none of them.
So then who will turn around the fortunes of Kenyans?
If I'm the president of Kenya, and I've said this many times, there are certain things you can't see.
Where will you start that journey?
Kenyan children will not go to school with jiggers in their toes. Within 1 year of my being president, that cannot happen.
With donor funding or what?
No, I don't want even donor funding. We have enough money on our own. Kenya children will not suffer in the pain of going to schools that are not actual schools. Kenyans will not live in Madare, Korogosho.
There will be no Mkuru kwa Jenga?
No. So nobody cares. They will not if I'm the president. In 5 years, there will be no... The slum in Kenya, after 10 years of my presidency, will be Buruburu. That will be the slum. Anything below Buruburu, I'll have wiped out.
Are you exaggerating your abilities?
But why not? Why? Kenyans are very enterprising people. And you don't even need to have money as a government. You just need to enable, facilitate. If you provide land in Nairobi, 2,000 acres, 5,000 acres, and we have that land in Nairobi here.
Without bringing down Mau Forest, Ngong Forest?
This is not a forest. You cannot have a forest in town when people are living in Kibra. We have many places you can plant trees. You can remove all these so-called, by the way, those are not trees. These forests from Southern Bypass, Ngong Road, Karen, Ololua area. You are only seeing from the outside. Inside, people have cut all the trees. And the first time they cut some of the trees, the recent past, the rich were allowed to put up houses, which Tobiko wanted to bring down. Those beautiful houses you see on Southern Bypass. That's forest. It was degazetted irregularly. But for the rich. So why can't we say all the way from prisons, Langata Prison, Southern Bypass, Ngong Road, all the way to Ololua and Ngong there, all that, just for example. We have a plan to build houses for Kenyans, where government is not spending any shilling.
At the expense of Nature Conservancy?
No, you are not getting what I'm saying.
I am.
This is a small thing.
Sure.
You cannot even have a national park, 30,000 acres to 9,000 acres, when Kenyans are living like dogs in Kibra. No. Now nobody will do it. Those who are lying to you will not do it in their countries. You cannot be planting trees in Thika here and pineapples in town, and Kenyans are living in Kiandutu. Kiandutu means a place of jiggers in the 21st century, 60 years after independence, and somebody is lying to you. Those are simply lies. But even before you encroach on the national park, on the Nairobi forest, whatever, this Ngong forest.
What are the low-hanging fruits?
There are many other places that government can open up for development. And who tells you it must be within Nairobi? There are open spaces between Ngong, for example, between Ngong and the Maimayu. That open space, for example. All government needs to do is to take a train there, train services, roads, services, and let factories relocate from industrial areas, some of them, and get bigger spaces.
But the government is already...
It's a thinking. It's a question of thinking. What we don't want to do, and I'm not talking about government.
Sure.
I'm not even talking about the president. I'm talking about Kenyans. What we don't want to do is to think, number one. Big things you see in countries, Dubai, Morocco, where there are changes. People think big. So one, we don't think. We are allergic to thinking. We are used to mediocrity, to low standards, to very low bar. And we don't feel ashamed seeing fellow Kenyans living like animals. Now the second problem is a pursuit of money. So money is everything. So as a minister, instead of figuring out how to better the standards of living of Kenyans from within your docket, if your docket is agriculture, how can this ministry contribute to the betterment of the life of people of Kenyans? Every day you go to the phone, you are cutting deals to the office. Hello, ile fertilizer. So you see, this is what is killing this country. Two things. One, we are allergic to thinking. We are lazy. Anytime we engage in on thinking, is lazy thinking. Partly caused by poor education. You get it?
Sure.
And the second, a much bigger problem also, is it is money, number one, number two, number three, number five, up to number 10. Money, pesa.
Even now that we have...
So everybody, all the energy, all the training you have, everything that God has endowed you with, society has contributed to making you an educated person. Everything you have, all your resources, from mental to anything else, is about you making money to put on a designer suit, to buy shoes of 300,000. You can see how stupid Kenyans can get. For that reason, there is little room left to think about the people of this country.
Very well. So how, this far, don't you give due credits to the President's Council of Economic Advisors that at least they have tried to navigate the situation?
The President has no economic advisors.
David D, the renowned.
So these are, I call them houseboys of World Bank. There's nothing. There is no evidence of economic thought going on. There's nothing.
From G to G government,
there is zero. Look, there's nothing they have come up with. And I told them during the campaign, I told them, you don't seem even to understand the country.
Top economists?
And the things I told them, they have come to, which economics? Nothing. They talked about, oh, gee, what? You create wealth, gee, they were calculating. I told them, who tells you everybody can do business?
Okay.
A serious economist will tell you there must be more consumers
than producers.
You see, they can't even advise people putting up malls in this country and the states. that who are you putting up these things for? I didn't know that people are building these malls and everything you see construction going on because they are using stolen money. If it was their money, they would not put there.
It is money laundering?
Stolen money laundering, yeah. Because if you go to some of these wonderful malls, do you see people shopping there?
A preserve for the elite in the South.
But are they even there? Are they even there? The people, these new malls, these wonderful high-end malls, there is nobody there. People are not shopping. People are doing selfies.
Our problem is being allergic to big thinking.
Because you see, even if I was to advise people, if I'm an economist, including those people, you'll tell people, for an economy to grow, and even for people to pay taxes, you must give them income. You begin with the most basic. Pay people living wages. The beginning point is that those who are employed must be paid good salaries. You get it?
True.
Let's start there. What does a good salary do?
Increase savings.
It means, first of all, your people can buy in those malls you are constructing.
Purchasing power.
Look, Kenya has less than 30,000 people on mortgage. Look. What are you talking about? Is this a small town in some country or a whole country? It means people don't have money. And then the usual circle. To beat the vicious circle of poverty. You give people income so that they can save. From savings, they investment. And from investments, you create jobs. People get jobs, paid well, save. That circle goes on. Yeah. This is simple. Economics 101. So what economics are you telling me is there?
Through G to G, oil.
Yeah? Which is this? It is everything here is this is a bandit economy. Everybody wants to make money. But the question I always ask myself, Richard, money for what?
Generational wealth, maybe?
No. Money can give you satisfaction, even me, if I'm earning it. Not making it, if I'm earning money. It means I am mobilizing the factors of production or using my professional training to earn money. So as the money grows, it gives me satisfaction. And I begin to create an empire, such as this Indian, what do you call him? The famous guy.
Vimal Shah?
No, the Shah, but there's this
Manu Chandaria.
Manu Chandaria. Satisfaction in creating. You know, you are creating. So those billions, even if you don't use them, and you hand over to generations and to family, there is a satisfaction of creating.
True.
But just getting billions, and that's so primitive. First of all, you won't even use that money. You don't need it. You won't use it. When you die, there's just a small hole, 6 by 6, 3 by 6. And you go inside 6 foot and you take nothing there. And then behind you, people fight over what you left.
Lawyers will have a field day?
Yeah, and then lawyers have a field day. How stupid are Kenyans, honestly? I try to understand how stupid a man can be to steal from the dead. You remember the cemetery scandal?
True.
Even the dead cannot be allowed to rest peacefully because someone must make money.
Out of the
Steal from the sick, that Kenyans must die because people must amass billions to put in their accounts. Children must be eaten by jiggers because we cannot give them a decent schooling. They learn under trees. Teachers are paid peanuts and we expect them to take care of our children. So, all this is happening so that people may get billions. And the billions you will never even use. You can't get satisfaction from money you have stolen. Money you are just piling somewhere. What satisfaction does it give you? It means you are operating from a very low. So some of these people have been to school. That's what Mother Karua was telling them. Mother Karua was telling them, money doesn't mean to me what it means to you people. You get it?
I get it.
So that's where the problem of this country is. So the good things that would have happened can't happen because people are not thinking. And also, everybody spends every available minute they are awake to can make money through stealing from the public. So nothing moves. And the standards of living can only go down.
Well, there you have it from the powerhouse and think tank himself, Herman Manyora, calling the government to rise to a higher ladder of bigger thinking, investing in bigger thinking, and actually taking the bold steps today, if not yesterday. Time now for Fan of the Week. It is none other than Godwin Namwamba in Germany. In Germany,
Godwin Namwamba. I must have met that guy.
You must have met him.
Wonderful. Godwin, thank you very much.
Very well, continue tuning in to our editions on this particular channel with Jadiel Kabiro, Evans Okenyi, and yours truly here, both on Business Glide and Richard Mwenje exclusive. We don't take your support for granted. Until next time on Business Glide, I'm yours truly, Richard Mwenje. Always a pleasure to have you on board. And now up next on your screen is the Business Glide African Proverb of the Day.